Okay, one thing that I want to say is that everything is not a psychic attack. Okay. Now, I want to be clear. I am happy that people are more aware at this point of time in regards to the spiritual aspect of things and looking a little bit more deeper into just this physical life, right? And understanding the physical affects the mental, which also affects the spiritual, and vice versa. They're intertwined, right? But everything is not a spiritual attack. People are not always putting you in a jar. They're not always binding you. They're not always, throwing tricks your way, trying to do spells on you. Now, there are haters. Yeah, it's going to always be some haters. And it might be some people that's wishing you bad luck. Now, that is something. But to the extent of doing certain rituals, that's not always so. Like when people experience a string of what they call bad luck or unfortunate circumstances, they always feel as if somebody must be putting roots on me or somebody must be doing this to me. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you because I just want to keep it real. It could be one or two things, okay? It could be because of your state of mind, the mental state. I'm talking about your mental stability, your mental state, or it can also be an an overload of stress. It can be an overload of even not paying attention to yourself when there's a need. You understand what I'm saying? So let me explain. Okay. So due to the state of our society, um, stress, work overload, people are overworked, underpaid, not appreciated, and it's just the powers that be that don't give a damn about us. They want us to work as slaves. And a lot of people are just stressed, okay, and depressed, right? Now, if you're stressed and depressed, you hate going to your job, what is that going to cause? That's going to cause issues, right? So you may develop migraines. You might develop anxiety because the thought of having to show up at this place where you know for sure you don't want to be at, you should be at, that causes inner turmoil within you, right? Um, and so your body's way of coping with this imbalance is to develop this anxiety because it's almost like you're trying to prepare yourself. Oh, I'm anxious. I'm thinking about it. If I can mentally prepare myself, then I can go into it. But you're really not mentally preparing yourself. It's like you scare yourself before you even get there. Because it may not even be that bad that day. You know you don't want to be there. It might not even be bad that day, but you just don't want to be there because that's not where you're supposed to be. That's not where you want to be. You know you could be somewhere else. You're not appreciated, etc. Right? And then you go into a depressive state because you feel as if, you know what, I deserve better. I want to do better, but I can't because of my circumstance that I'm in. I'm financially obligated to my household, to myself. I have these bills. I have to be a responsible adult. So all of this stress that is just weighing down on you. So then before you know it, you've developed these conditions, right? The anxiety. And one thing about it is, like, when you develop these certain conditions, it's like one after the other, they start attaching themselves. Like, you'll just start developing other things. So, if you're in a depressive state, if you're in an anxious state, if you're just extremely tired, then you open yourself up to other ailments that can weaken you even more. So when you're in that state, you're already at a weakened state, mentally and physically. So it makes it a little bit more easier for, say, for instance, even like a common cold, you'll catch that and it's like a bad summer cold. You know what I mean? Or, you get this one thought in your mind and it just starts compounding them. And before you know it, you have these thoughts that you never thought you would think before. I'm talking about thoughts, not so good thoughts. And you're like, this is not even like me. And then you become more depressed and more anxious because you're like, these are not my regular thoughts. What's wrong with me? And I'm here to tell you, a lot of times you may have to reach out for help. Now, what does that look like? You may need to reach out for professional help, therapists, they may prescribe you something. And let me tell you, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just saying what I know from experience, right? You may have to reach out and get some type of help because you can't get yourself out of that loop and you don't even understand how you got there, why you got there, and how to get yourself out of it, right? Sometimes a lot of people may go the natural route and they start with meditation and yoga and find themselves on a journey of a spiritual path or a spiritual awakening or whatever that is. And they find that that helps them to release that stress and redirect that energy and build themselves up. And then, go back to, or even better, build themselves to an even better person that they were before. Okay. Right. And then sometimes you may need a combination of both. Sometimes you may need that professional help to get you at a place where you can go do those other naturalistic things that can also uplift you, right? But just don't be ashamed to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to reach out to someone, talk with someone. Someone that you trust, a shoulder that you can cry on. Sometimes that helps, but sometimes it doesn't. You may release and then it builds right back up almost immediately. That's when you know you really do need help. Okay. So again, everything is not like a spiritual attack, but sometimes it's certain things that we're going through because of the environment that we're currently in that may cause us to become off balance. And it's okay. We can reach out for help.